5 seconds. Hurry, hurry.
Oh, Gyrocopter now. Interesting. And CIS rejects, they go for the Skyrat Mage as well, like we saw last series, but also the Beastmaster. So that is a very nice setup for the Mystic Flare and just a lot of lane pressure. And Gambit is gonna respond with the Gyro. Hero very well suited to dealing with Beastmaster's boys, which can be very problematic for some carries.
Can be. There's plenty of stuns on Gambit's side. Nice combos as well in general. What I'm kind of looking at here is that there isn't actually any ability on Gambit's side that's breaking trees, so you don't have anti-synergy with Bushwhack. Fire Remnant.
Nice, yeah.
Remnant actually is the only thing that breaks trees.
Oh,
so
or you can slide a fist and then during the slide of fist kill the tree.
Yeah, that's possible.
These are like the high MMI strats.
Yeah, they are. It's kind of like you can use items when you're in Remnant form. Same with Storm and Morphling with Wave form and Ball Lightning. To play with a Wind Ranger, for example, you have like Iron Branches. You zap somewhere to place down a tree, and then you get Shackle Shot, and then you're like, whoa, what was that? Like, it's doable. Especially if you're playing a Morphling who morphs into a Wind Ranger. A Morphling banned, though, so we won't get to see these 400 IQ plays.
I was really looking forward to that specific situation. Oh, well. Maybe next game.
You see them on Dota what the fuck videos usually, or like... someone pulls off that great play with like a branch blocking vision, so they can't target that last right click or spell on you because they lose vision, or placing it behind the opponent while the spell is already flung into the air so that they can get this connection stun, for example.
Yep, or like blocking a Timber Cell.
That's how I thought people played Hoodwink on the first week, that you have to carry Iron Branches.
Right.
Yes, this is a real 1k MMR way of thinking, but that's how I thought it was before I actually played the hero. Acorn Shot actually spawns a tree. I thought they're placing Iron Branches to land their Bushwhack. And I was like, what's the idea in that? Like, who the fuck does that? But it turns out I was completely wrong.
It was the same when Treant still had his old invisibility.
Oh, yeah.
He would just sit on the side of the lane, and then he would just place branches and walk invisible towards his target and then hit them, and then he did like 120 damage and wasted like 400 gold worth of branches.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, yeah, that's the stuff.
That's exactly the stuff. Oh, man. Those were some good times. Like, hey, there are these trees popping out of nowhere, trying to traverse from one spot to another without showing yourself, but you're still showing the trees, so you're like, they can still see you approaching because you're doing that. Anyway, back to the draft. We have 10 seconds left on the clock for CIS Rejects with this combo that they have. They just need a damage dealer. What do they want to bring? What's their their final carry option for the day? It's going to be a Faceless Void. This goes nicely with the Sky, nicely with the Quap. Beast can also throw some axes in, so good synergy overall.
And they don't really have great ways of catching him. There is Clockwork and Ember Spirit, even Hoodwink, I guess. But if he just buys a BKB, he's going to be completely free to do whatever he wants. And there isn't a lot of burst damage anyway.
5 seconds. Hurry, hurry.
Actually, that's a lie. I am lying. Sorry, there is Hoodwink ulti, and I guess Ember can triple Remnant. It's nothing compared to what CIS Rejects has, but there is still plenty of opportunities for Ramses to feed.
Feed on himself or feed on enemies. 15 seconds for Gambit. What's our missing piece of the puzzle? They're thinking about the offlane here. Unless they put the Clockwork and shift it there because they saw the Faceless Void pick come out.
That is a good question. The fish.
Badly did they ruin your strategy?
So you have two heroes that do kind of the same thing here, Clockwork and Slardar.
Literally the same heroes, honestly.
I sometimes think like you should have a hero that does one thing, but never put too many of the same heroes in the same draft. What do you think, Clockwork and Slardar? Is there synergy? Is there anti-synergy? When you think of the whole picture, the full picture.
The whole picture? That is a very big picture. I mean, they both have a jump. I guess they can both jump separate targets. I don't think there is very clear synergy or anti-synergy. Maybe you can like jump on the Queen of Pain with the clockwork, and then she blinks away, and then you chase with the Slider. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess maybe if I rephrase myself a bit, anti-synergy in the sense that you're missing some part of your draft. Like usually you have like, well,
Right.
in this case you have split push capability, so you're not missing on that. You have tower damage, which is kind of reliant on your gyrocopter, and Slider Clock exactly don't hit towers that hard. So something is missing, and I think in its objective damage if you don't have the gyrocopter with you.
Yeah, I guess. But generally, you don't really expect your position 4/5 and position 3 to have too much tower damage anyway. So I don't think that is a huge concern. The one thing where they could be lacking a little bit is the ability to shove in lanes. Because both Clockwork and Slider don't really push out lanes that fast. And Hoodwink can push lanes, but it kind of depends on the build. If it's a build like we saw last game with the Maelstrom, it's absolutely no problem. But if it's a more classic support build, it can be a little bit slow. So that is the one thing. And as a result, if you cannot push in lanes, that means that your movements on the map can be pretty predictable. And that can be problematic with heroes like Clockwork and Slider that want to be active and find kills. Also, look at Smiling Knight's starting items.
Let's get to it,
This
shall
is
we?
strange.
Triple Branch and Band of Elven Skin. Maxing out the
I
right
want to
click.
have agility.
Yes. Agile copter. Wants to rack up that right click damage. I mean, he's still got less damage than the Beastmaster does, but obviously that's still range versus melee hero, so you have a bit of a disadvantage there. Unless you're Shadow Shaman, but you don't really play as a carry. Have you played Shaman
Don't
carry?
give them any
actually?
ideas, Panda.
I mean, I've seen mid shamans, I've seen pause 3 shamans, and they work. Why doesn't a carry shaman work?
Right? Maybe in the future.
Maybe in the future.
Also,
yeah.
we can, because Melojul is rank 1, if he dies even once in this game, his rank 1 is a fluke, right? That's how it works. Because he's supposed to be the best player in Europe, and this is Europe.
Yeah, Eastern Europe, or Europe, yeah. Still, yeah, true.
Right? Interesting.
But what about the rest of his team though? Are they ranked 2, 3, 4, and 5? Because in that case, that analogy is completely true. If you're not allowed to lose a single game at that point, if you have the top 5 MMR player of the region.
I don't know. Supports tend to slack. So, you cannot check ranks right now because we're in a
Hey,
lobby.
there's Celery.
True.
He's
He is very good.
he's ranked 17. He's a support player.
Just stop being versatile in your heroes. Just pick like 2 of them and get really good at them, and that's how you get MMR. Because he used to be like rank 800 for like 4 years. And then he discovered that he just needed to become a brain dead hero spammer. And now he's like
Wow.
really high.
Don't salt my boy Celery. He's a good lad. Am I the only one who's protecting all that's humane and gentle and nice in Dota? Is it all just bans and hate?
These days he is a bit more flexible, but that's how he climbed. And it's honestly really impressive as a position 5 player to get that high.
Okay, so back to numbers. I did some research while you were talking. So here are the ranks of Gambit's players, and on that scale, you are very correct that this should make sense. Melojul rank 1, Smiling Knight rank 27, Pantomime ranked 79, Seiyu at 89, and Afterlife 159. So if you have, in DPC, if you have, was it 96 teams in total? 96 times 5, you have 500 players, and your 5 is in the top 150 of one region.
Right.
Then, I guess
But we're not counting NA players, right?
Of course not. If we kind of minus Afterlife out of the equation, so the 4 players in the top 100, yeah, Gambit should by fair numbers should be better. But CS Rejects is still on top on the leaderboards with 1 series less lost. Man, I phrased that so badly, but apologize for my French.
I mean, it happens. bad phrasing is all I do while casting.
Yes. Ogre, me too. Like talk, yes.
Drunk.
Imagine if we just had like this ogre cast going on. Oh.
This would have been a really nice opportunity.
I'm getting the mental image of it right now. Oh crap. We don't want to go down that road.
This would have been a perfect opportunity to flame my enemies, but I don't have any.
Yeah. Oh, alright.
There's not enough rivalry in the casting scene, honestly.
Yeah, it's just the talent scene that's kind of like just throwing salt on top of each other is kind of at steady amounts so that everybody's suddenly drowning in it. It's the only thing that we do is just breathe the salt, breathe the toxicity, become one with it. But about the game, I think people have listened to our rant for long enough, so let's talk some hard, cold facts. People love Dota. Seiyu is going to be the first blood here for Ramses. Slows and not even the bash actually leveled up for Faceless Void, but that is a pretty effective spell when you think about time dilation, as it's a very good slow for catching heroes here. Plus, Sky having another one. That's just pure profit.
Ramses is also going heavy on the agility.
He is triple slippers. He's only got 2 feet for 6 boots, or 6 pairs of boots.
I mean, they look
3 pairs of
pretty
boots.
thin. I reckon you can stack them. Like socks.
I mean, he's doing it right now. He's stacking them. Thing is, the slippers of agility, the model basically looks like, you know, like these elven clown shoes.
Mm-hmm. True, but what was the point?
Hello, mic test.
I don't know. That was the point. They look like elven clown
No,
shoes.
I agree.
Knight also got his own kill in top of the Spirit Breaker, who just teleported back, and that was Roger. And now Afterlife actually gets a kill on Roger in bot. Bit surprising, but they do have Bash, Stun, Bushwhack.
Hello, mic test. Mic test. 1, 2, 3.
Control.
And Slider hits so hard on Skyrat, because he has 0 armor, so if you bash him, it's actually basically hitting a double damage attack.
Looking at the CS department, Beastmaster's not looking too healthy.
Yeah, he's not enjoying his time right now.
Charge onto mid. Smelliul's being targeted by it. FNG leaves it halfway. Slardar's also dying in bot. Oh, if that was a bash, that would have been killed, but still with the Arcane Bolt, that should do the trick. Tango heal, not going to be enough.
Quite surprised that he didn't buy a stick before. He only just got the wand, but stick is so nice against Void Sky.
Yeah, 2 active abilities on Void, 3 actives on Sky even in the laning stage. Technically 5 spells all the time, plus Arcane Bolt spam. Good point. What was he? What was his mindset then if he wasn't planning on it?
I guess he just wanted the strength first. And Bracer is nice because it gives a bit of regen as well. And some solid stats, but I just don't fully agree with it.
I guess Dyer's courier will never answer for his
Career
awful
kill on
crimes.
Pantomime by FNG. Let's see who's trading some hits here with the Skywrath Mage. Ramses at 20, CS Afterlife is keeping up to the pace, and also the Beastmaster's now been recovering nicely. I think he just had a rough start when Beastmaster's at level 1 and 2, when you only have 1 point in your board, but now Pantomime. He's got FNG. Rogers killed in the bot lane by Afterlife, and FNG is going to be a follow-up to that. So Gambit picking up 2 kills for themselves, and CIS Rejects they're feeling the power of Gambit early on. They're rolling out a decent laning stage in terms of kills, but still very even on both ends.
Quop, as expected, is now having a pretty decent time on mid, while
Slardar slows it there. Time dilation's available. And he's gonna use it, but he's also got himself that little serpentine charge. What is that called? Guardian sprint. Nobody ever uses that word. I feel like that's such a early Dota 1 thing where you just call Guardian sprint.
Mic test. 1, 2, 3.
yeah. I mean, have you ever said Bash of the Deep instead of just Bash? I mean, I've heard people use time lock, right? But no one ever says Bash of the Deep.
Bash of the Deep, yeah. I always just say, you know, like Slardar Stun and Slardar Bash.
Right.
If we have mods, we do have mods. You wanna run a quick poll about do you call Bash or Bash of the Deep? Because I'm genuinely interested. Does anybody actually say Bash of the Deep if you were to talk about Slardar's Bash?
I feel like most people still call it amplify damage as well instead of corrosive haste.
Oh yeah, amp damage, good old. That's an old one.
It's like, I wonder what this ability does. All right.
It amplifies damage. But at least they changed the term because as we've progressed in time, I believe people have been misunderstanding that. But that amplifies all damage. We've become too smart, so we've had to simplify things.
Right. That's it. Yep.
Because damage amplification can mean any application. Now we have spell amp, we have lifesteal, we have vamp basically. Technically lifesteal, but Spirit Breaker not in the place he wants to be in, under the tower, and he's also inside the cogs. And as that cog ends, there is the Slitherine Crush to finish all Spirit Breakers out of this game. Afterlife picks a 3rd kill for him.
Thank you. Dire's middle tower is being attacked.
Yeah. He's actually having a surprisingly good time here in this bottom lane. Would have expected him to do okay, but not this well. That being said, Ramses is still leading in terms of net worth. He has a Morbid Mask, so would expect a Mask of Madness to come out soon.
That's a big brain pre-7 minute looking at net worth. But yeah, there's not too much. The only thing is the Beastmaster. Today, in all 4 games, the 3 games we've cast before today, before this one, and the one that's going on right now, there's always one guy out of the 6 cores who is not as farmed as everybody else. And in this game, it happens to be the Beastmaster.
Mm-hmm.
There's always that one guy.
Always the 6th core, not having fun. But hey, he has his little petting zoo up to level 3 now, so the fun is about to begin.
Talking about Beastmasters, the SA game we cast last night with Kips, 14-minute Helm of the Overlord. Can you beat that? That's a pretty sick timer, but the game was an absolute stomp. So this is not going to be 14 minutes if he goes all the way. He probably will.
I would be quite surprised by that as well.
Tower is being attacked.
Oh, there's an Invis rune available as the drops down the chains onto the Queen of Pain.
Mm-hmm.
Action rune on the other
I'm
side.
pretty sure that if the rune spawned top, he would have grabbed it inside the Sleight of Fist. That's when you do when you're rank 1.
Yeah, that's what you see a lot of Ember players do. Is they're not even nearby. They just use Slate for the rune steal.
They're not even close to their PC. They just like mentally control Ember.
Telekinesis. Somehow adding, you know, a VR element into Dota.
Yeah, that's just your basic day of playing Ember. You just meditate, you know?
Imagine playing Ember Spirit in showcase mode with VR glasses on and using remnants.
Oh god, I'm already nauseous.
Yeah, but I was thinking the same. That's a lot of motion sickness that's gonna strike in there. So you're just flying all over the place and trying to get forward.
It isn't like even a consistent speed. Like if you was Spirit Breaker, it would just be fast, you know? But on Ember, it's like completely anxiety-inducing.
Yeah. Well, we have 7 kills so far in the first 8 minutes. It's still better than the first game of the Gaming versus Namiga in terms of kills. Pasha has also finished his Dominator, looking towards his Vlads. Piece by piece, slowly making his way towards Overlord. Let's see if he does end up building it all the way through, because his timing's not going to be too great, so he's going to miss his active window, but still would provide a big buff for his heroes. Even with just the Vlad is already a very useful,
exactly.
very useful aura.
Let's see Afterlife is gonna be rushing a Blink Dagger. Not too surprising.
They want Quap's clarity. Can't get it. The pressed kid able to jump away. No towers have been taken yet. Still waiting for the first tower to be felled.
Yeah, relatively
lanes.
quiet now
Yeah,
after
even,
the early kills.
even the Beastmaster's not had that much time to actually push down this tower.
Dire's top
Maybe
tower
now.
is being attacked.
Seiyu is also around in the area, potentially grabbing some early XP. Maybe hit a level 6. Charges on. Roar's going to be there too. And that just might be a dead Hoodwink. Not even required to maybe follow up the charge. Yeah, might as well get that extra value point out of it. Afterlife coming in with a stun. 1 versus 2. There is the Bash of the Deep. Loading them up. And there we go. He's got it. Smacks it into the face of the Spirit Breaker once again. Now the Flat Cannon Knight shows up out of nowhere. They've got the call down. Chronosphere placed down too. And Melloyule is dead. Silence with the Sky ulti. Couple bashes and hits from Ramses. He's happy to use it there. And it's a 2-for-2 trade.
Nice rotation by Ramses, securing Melloyule there.
That's the right use of your carry player rotating at level 6 or 7 to come for a quick kill to use her ulti.
For sure. Smiling Knight just saying, heck it, I'll just go bottom. That is gonna be the Crystallis first item on him. Just straight up damage.
Yep. Good farming tool. Since you already got the Flat Cannon, you're getting some nice benefit out of it.
In terms of raw damage, it's one of the most efficient items you can buy.
Radiant's bottom tower under fire.
Bot tower still being sieged, and CIS rejects, they're kind of second-guessing themselves here. Do we go or do we not go?
Dire's top tower is
They also know the threat is that there's heroes behind them. Hoodwink is 6, Clockwork is 6. They've got a pretty deadly combo here with Hookshot into Sharpshooter. It's a lot of damage being dealt in a quick... Oh, look at this. They're setting their eyes on the Quap.
They can't kill.
But they're also running away at the same, because they're like, they don't know if there's somebody else there too. Lacking vision.
Hope is Omega tanky right now. Unless she has her boots on int.
Yeah, once you have Kaya Sanj, if you were looking at some early Giga Chat levels. There's the Vlads now lined up for the Beastmaster.
is being attacked.
Still not pretty good timing because he's been uninterruptedly farming for quite some time.
Yeah, it's definitely not too bad. At the same time, Afterlife. Ooh,
Yeah,
is
look
he
at
gonna
Gambit.
go Midas?
Gambit's moves here. Potential kill on Roger, maybe even 2 if Beastmaster's the real target.
They should still be able to get this. but
Yeah, I mean they
do
should.
want to?
They could. Beastmaster, there's the
Oh.
Sharpshooter. Yeah, that's a dead Beastmaster. Now he's dead. Posh is not having fun. For a moment, Sky's just laughing there, ha ha, but still ends up getting hit by it. And they actually lose Seiyu to the Alpha Wolf and the Boars. I thought the situation was already over, but it wasn't.
I don't think that's exactly what Gambit had in mind there. But hey, they kill Pasha. That's nice.
Dire's bottom tower
Solid work. Solid work. It's all honest work, you could say.
It is gonna be the Midas for Afterlife. He had the blink queued up and then he suddenly put a Midas in his quick buy and he was like, alright, we don't need early aggression, I'm just gonna hit some creeps.
Yeah, exactly. Smoke coming out from Ramses. Roger. Phantom is going to be the one to bop it. It doesn't really matter that the Clockwork dies here, but it's another thing if they're actually able to turn it around, because there's a lot of Gambit heroes in the area. Melloyule, he's got the chains into the stun. He gets the chrono off just before the rocket connects, and CIS Rejects looking for a bit of a turnaround to keep them away at least, but not going to be enough. FNG keeping away is able to. They're just going to leave him right there where he is because they got the Void and they've got the Sky. Nice pushback there from Seiyu. The vision provided by Afterlife, and that's going to be 2 kills for Gambit at the cost of a Clockwork. So they did get the turnaround, which Pantomime was kind of playing on. That if he can buy enough time for the guys to show up, that's exactly what happens.
same time, Depressed Kid is farming so well. It's actually insane.
That's a lot of money.
166 creeps at 14 minutes.
Yeah,
That
that's
is truly impressive.
50 more than the Gyro, 50 more than the Ember. Like 70 more last hits compared to the Faces Void.
And even the Gyro and the... Like, all of the rest of the heroes aren't doing too badly in terms of CS. Like, 113 creeps at 15 minutes is not too bad for a carry. It's just that Depressed Kid is doing an insane job farming.
Radiant's middle tower is being
But hey, that's what you get sometimes when you're depressed and a kid and playing Dota.
Yep, and Ramses is actually going for Midas all the way, so he wants to amplify this farm up to the max, up to the peak, kind of relying that Gambit is not going to play as aggressive as they're
so
kind of
strange.
maybe suspecting them to play. So he wants to go for Midas, and I think CIS-R has done this a couple times. They have been playing very long games during the course of Division 2. We're looking at like their first series against, was it an Amiga? They're like 57, 67 minutes right away in game number 1 or something like that. I think you guys were casting that game. And they've had these long games time after time, but they always turned it around.
Yeah.
Seiyu dying here is also just another indicator that they're ready to fight these quick brawls, but they don't want to take a full-on team fight unless they have Chrono up, and that's another 30 seconds of cooldown.
Dire's bottom tower.
That's an interesting interaction, actually. Spirit Breaker's charge got cancelled by the Remnant jump backwards. Okay.
But yeah, I feel like one of the reasons why CIS Rejects had long games at the start is because they were a really new team and the early game was looking kind of shaky.
Gameluel, this is big. They've got the Hawk under the tower. They've got the Blink coming in from the Depressed Kid, and there's a Sonic Wave with a lot of damage into the Sky Ulti too, with a hook shot from Pantomim's going to be a bit too short and a bit too late. He might take one with him, but he's also going to lose his life. That's a double kill for the Quap, and that's a heavy price to pay.
And this should be a tier 2 as well. There is no fortifications with the Beast and the Vlads and all of the Zoo. It's gonna be a dead tower.
That stings a bit. Melayul even saw the Hawk, but he did not know about the charge that was looming in the air. Just getting completely comboed on, and Ramsey's in trouble in mid, but do they have the damage for it? He just regenerates everything back up.
That was a very optimistic attempt.
Very optimistic, you could say. He's completely unfazed by it. Back to full HP with just one press of the key. They found a Spirit Breaker. He's got charge. Bulldozer's a bit late. Yeah, he's gonna go for that quick bonk. Gets rid of the wards too.
I wonder if Ramses is truly gonna finish this Midas. Because he just finished his Manta.
Good.
I would
Probably
be very
considering
surprised.
it. Nice kill on the clockwork there. Sky Ulti's not enough, but Scream of Pain will do the trick. Another kill from Depressed Kid. 205 last hits. Is there any stopping this guy? He's getting kills
Not
and
currently.
farm.
He almost has a BKB as well. This is
Yeah.
insane.
This is literally insane. Like, super farm Quap, and your Faces Void now has a Manta with Mask of Madness, so you're good to go for Roche Pit. Like, your team is in a very active window right now, and I think it's just being enabled by Pasha getting that early farm for himself, but Quap still having the map for himself, and Void is the one who's kind of brawling back and forth here and there using his Chrono.
It is worth noting though that Smiling Knight does have his Aghanims completed, so his farm is accelerating a lot as well.
Pantomime only throws in a Rocket Fair to the pit, but he's not going to hook shot in to try and steal the Aegis for himself. And Gambit are they're in a bit of an awkward position right now, because you could almost say that Radiant has they've hit their timing of being active. So we're going to see more Quap. We have an Aegis up now. And looks like Quap has just finished BKB too, so I wouldn't be too surprised if they just went for a straight-up smoke.
Yeah. Would not surprise me.
Radiant's bottom tower is being
He's a
attacked.
Chrono as well, but Ramses, for now, just hitting jungle creeps.
Yeah.
Classic carry gameplay.
They're suspecting
Hey, we got
someone
an
to push
Aegis.
top.
We
I
have
like the way-
BKB on our mid. I have my Chrono ready. Let's go hit
Yeah.
some Ancients.
Yep, he's ready to go and defend any tower, but right now bottom is not being pushed. Just looking at FNG and Depressed Kid both thinking about rotating behind the tier 2 tower, thinking about a smoke. Now FNG was like, hey, we can smoke. He moves it into his inventory. Depressed Kid's like, I need to get back to hitting creeps. Gonna push out this mid wave so it's not too obvious for smoking up. Meanwhile, top lane, a lot of action's already kicking in. They're killing the Black Dragon. And here comes the roar from Pasha onto the Clockwork. Pantomime is taking a heck of a lot of damage. There's the Arcane Bolt and the Chronosphere onto the Gyrocopter with no defense, no saves right now. Is there any backup gonna be arriving to save Smiling Knight? No, there's not. The whole entire team of CIS Rejects is gonna be there. And Meliul is not in time either. There's nothing that's saving them from this Chronosphere Wingblade. You can't even throw in a tree in with a pushback. It's just not gonna work.
That's a definite weakness of the Gambit draft. There's just nothing they can do against
saves.
CIS just running at them.
It's like you don't have a heart dispel. You don't have any other heals to provide right now. There's just no defensive capabilities in this team. There's no vessel even, no glimmer cape, no force staff. They're just straight up damage pretty much on Gambit.
Maybe Melajul rushes the Wind Waker? Huh? Just spend 4,000 gold to save your general from Chrono? That's an option.
That's something.
A shit one, but it's an option.
Yeah, it's still an option nevertheless, but does take away a lot of this hero's capability if you go for Wind Waker. I've seen some Miranas, +4 Miranas build Wind Waker. And it's actually pretty good. But very, very, very situational, and you need to be the right hero to have it. You don't want to have it on a core. It's just too expensive. Well, at least Gambit recognizing their situation currently, and they're not in the best of places. CIS Rejects feel like they are rolling the map right now in any way they want. Ramses
Both the Slider and Gyro are gonna have a
Meliul.
beast though.
Close call. 4 heroes suddenly appear out of nowhere on top of this Ember Spirit, but it's not enough. Sky doesn't get the silence off. It's just one press of a button. Charge.
You think they can catch the rank 1 player?
Oh,
Come
they
on.
are on him. Smiling Knight. There's Meliul. Not around though. FNG. Depressed Kid is there too. He takes a lot of damage. But they're able to turn it around. So yeah, Meliul, the rank 1. Smiling Knight, the rank 18. The top 20 player being focused on. They're able to keep him alive. This Gyro's been getting a lot of hate. Only died once. That was the last Chronosphere usage in the top lane in front of the tier 3 tower. So that's a positive indicator that this Gyrocopter is still tanky. But
Yeah,
he needs still like 2 items to really make a difference.
He is definitely no pushover. He's even completely skipping Rocket Barrage to be tankier. I love that stats are back.
FNG charging all the way to the Hoodwink. Say you surprised. Ta-da! There's Ramses. Bashed 1. There's the Bushwhack. Charges up in 3 seconds again. He does not put a Tinker Ward down. Thinking about it. But he's not going to waste it on a Hoodwink. Lets him slide this time. Slardar also blinks away, so nobody there. And Aegis is effectively running out in 20 seconds.
Not the most effective Aegis ever, but still, it bought some time for CIS Rejects to get more farm.
Yeah, more
And,
farm for them. And Gambit also kind of, with the split push, protecting their remaining bottom lane towers and their high ground.
Yeah, and it's hard with a Void to just push high ground against these Gambit heroes. Doesn't really work like that unless you get a full team wipe. I guess they could slow siege with Beast, but even that doesn't work too well against all of the D-push that Gambit has.
Yeah. Sky Axe is a pretty fun item. It's also looking to build it in this game. We've had one Sky almost get it done, and I've seen one game where he has built it. Burns his mana pool pretty effectively, but like I said, there's no saves, so might as well just power up the nukes as much as they can. Clockwork getting punished here in the river. Pantomime has found the enemy. Oh, Nice bait chrono there, Afterlife, forcing him to blink away. Cast cancel. Every time you see, or if you recognize a Faceless Void walking towards you, and he stops moving, that's when you, even if you don't see the cast animation, your only thing that you're reacting to is the hero stop moving. Oh, roar onto the Slardar though. Charge coming in too. Black Dragon doing some damage. The Pressed Kid is here too. Sonic Wave could be used for the kill. He's got his BKB, but he's not going to get it. Not gonna get it. Roger also got killed by Meloyul in the mid lane.
Nice kill by him. Yeah, it's really unfortunate that Afterlife died there. He was so close to his BKB. I wonder what Ramses builds next. He has his BKB. So I guess he just wants to get tanky now, something like Skadi.
Yeah, good. I think what he's doing right now is kind of reading what is this gyrocopter building, because if you see a butterfly, he could just go straight up MKB. So I guess, you know, trying to get information from his teammates that wherever the gyrocopter is moving is what is he building next. Like, he's got Crystal and the Morbid Mask, so he could still go for like Satanic or straight up Daedalus like he's doing right now, and he's building up both of them.
Imagine hooking your teammate and missing.
Does that count as griefing?
I think a lot of things count as griefing. But yeah, he's fine. It was just
I guess it just comes down to the person who sees the
Right.
situation in his own eyes. Because, you know, the customer's always right. It's never your fault. Stardart blinks, but still gets stunned by the Kamikaze Bird on the other. That's an interesting interaction. That I don't think that should work that way. He got stunned while he blinked.
Birds, though. Maybe
Unless-
it happens on the same server tick.
Yeah, possible. Very, very rare instance. Four-man smoke from Gambit, hoping to find somebody in top as his lane is pushing in. They've just located some heroes here, but they suddenly all have disappeared. CIS rejects are nowhere to be found. Pasha is farming in the jungle. Beast is a decent kill, but he's also got a Blink Dagger. So walking on this high ground, yeah, you need the Ember for it. They got it. Sharpshooters loaded up. Connects with the rocket. Bit of extra damage applied by Meloyul. And the Black Dragon as well. So that's 250 gold for the Knights and 400 gold for Meloyul. Total of 650.
They want to transition this pick-off into something, though. Doesn't look like they're quite willing to just take the top tier 1, for instance. And Roche is not quite up. It's so close. They just missed it. Because that would have been huge. They take it so fast.
We may
They still don't see it.
No, they still don't, but Afterlife. There you go. Blink Silence. Slardar's not going to be getting away. And again, he just doesn't get to use his 9-second BKB. Now he does. He's got 60 HP, but he's already dead. Now he's also going to go jumping in with the BKB used by Ramses as well. Look at the chrono. BKB pop by the Gyrocopter too. And we see a lot of BKBs being used, but no real fight. Slardar also used his just before he died. I think that was some kind of get rid of the magical damage debuff, force them to go in and enable Gambit. Because that's what the spectator usually sees, like, why did he pop BKB there? But that's exactly because, oh, he used BKB, he's going to survive. Maybe if we get one more hit and he's dead. The classic human greed.
Yep.
Wasn't needed this time, though.
Let's see. Smiling Knight has his BKB finished, and he's now going for a Daedalus Satanic. Pretty much your basic gyrocopter build.
Yeah, yeah. This was what we were talking about a while ago. Like, what's the item choice this gyro wants to go for, and how is Faceless Void going to respond to it? He's gone for Maelstrom. So I think we're seeing Mjolnir. He goes into the pit. He's got Mask of Madness on. Gambit's perfect timing here too. Perfect timing, absolute. They've got the pushback into the pit. They need to get the kill on the Crown Boy, but he doesn't get the hook shot onto him. There's that press kit in between. There's the Sonic Whip connecting onto Furrow as well. A lot of damage coming through. And Afterlife going to get passed up as well and stunned by FNG. And Pantomime moving the first one. They're going to the Chrono as well, landing onto Knight. And Knight is going to be all alone, surrounded by enemies from CIS Reject. And they're going to take this Gyrocopter for themselves. They're going to get even more of these kills. The Silence are coming out as well into the Ember Spread. He's got himself the Yule. Yules throwing himself into the air. CIS-R, though, he doesn't look like he's going to be running anyway. It's going to be the Kamikaze Bird that connects at the same time, taking that kill for himself. The fight's still running, though, because the buyback is coming out from the Gyro and from the Clockwork, but they need to get these kills. They're missing every hit on the Beastmaster so far. They get him out of the way. But now I think it's down to CIS Rejects to think, are they going to be contesting this Roshan? Because we finally got some action. And this is truly the activity we were waiting for. Contesting Roche, because it might be important for the entire game, and it might just be decisive for who actually wins this one. So a buyback from Pasha, and still both teams setting themselves outside this Roche pit. Now it's back to, you could almost say, the Watchmen are here.
Yeah, I look forward to the next 10 minutes of just posturing around Roche. Because both teams take it pretty darn fast and they don't want to give it up.
Another smoke. Depressed Kid is in the pit. You're going to find Spirit Breaker with the invis, but the silence comes out from the Slardar as well. But the Roar will connect with the Sky ulti, and Slardar's down. Knight is in between. He's got his BKB, he's got his cooldown and everything, but it's just going to get stunned up for over again. And there's going to be a dieback on the Gyrocopter. That is devastating for Gambit. They're going to lose 4 heroes in quick succession, and Meloyul's trying to make a run for it. The silence quickly missed, or barely missed by the Quap, onto the Ember Spirit, now hiding in the trees. Nicely juking in there as well, but he doesn't have a teleport available. No remnants. Depressed Kid, if he just gets one good landing, and he does, he's got the silence there, but do the other damage. The bird is going to be there as well, but the Shiva's going to be slowing him down, and the damage is going to be sufficient with another jump from Meloyul. Again, Yules into the air. FNG is going to be there, and Meloyul nowhere to go. Depressed Kid makes it, and it's a team wipe as they get everybody out of the way. Roshan is also taken into the loving arms of Ramses with the Aegis and taking himself the shard. I think that was pretty much the game right there, because they don't have buybacks, Wingblade.
Yeah, this should be one set of racks at least.
At least.
The creeps are still
Ramses
quite
already
far
at the
away.
base. There's no creeps, but he's already here.
Just vibing. I should be able to take this with the Beastmaster aura.
Yeah. Now they have the damage for it. Buyback is up on the Ember Spirit. Afterlife and CIS-R are trying to keep this bottom lane at least up and running. They tried to cut the wave from mid, which is the reason why the backdoor protection went off. But now there's too many creeps inside. So they get that one lane of racks, setting their sights toward a second one because Chrono is back up. They have that Aegis. All they need is one mistake from Gambit, and it might just be all over. But that team fight right there in that Roche pit, that was pretty decisive for this entire game.
Yeah, for sure. And now Gambit's gonna be pretty much stuck in base because Chrono is up and the top lane is constantly gonna be pushing in.
They did leave the base, trying to hunt for a quick kill outside as soon as CIS Rejects are still spread it around the map. They also bought the gem on the Clockwork, so this time FNG shouldn't be able to hide inside that Shadow Blade. FNG hiding on the high ground here. He sees one target. That's going to be the Clockwork with the gem. Actually gave it away to somebody else, so he's not going to drop it if he gets killed here. Ramses is pretty relentless with this chase. Doesn't get the time dilation slow. Jumps in onto the high ground right away, and they've got the kill on Pantomime. Afterlife with his BKB popped as well. Chrono's going to be there. Where's the bash? Not looking for it yet, and here comes the Nether Strike too. That is going to be a dead Slardar. The fish is beat. And CIS Regis also smoked up Pasha. Blink Roar is available. Who does he go for? Goes for Knight. Got the Knight combined with the Sky ulti. And 3 dead. That surely has to be it. That's going to be a 4th one. Hoodwink is the target of the Chronosphere. Ramses is in front of the base while the GG call comes out from Afterlife. Gambit has had enough. And CIS Regis continues their dominance.
That was pretty smooth, all things considered, and really sick performance from Depressed Kid. Damn. Let's see, what was his score? I mean, he died 0 times, but how many kills did he have? Just 9.
Just 9. 908 and 916 on both of the cores. So that's a pretty solid scoreline for your cores, for your most important cores at least.
I also love how Quop outfarmed the Gyro as well by like 72 creeps. Decent.
yeah. 400 last hits on a QoP in 33 minutes. If you're a QoP spammer watching right now, that's the goal you should be hitting for. That's, I mean,
every game.
not every
uninstall.
game, obviously, but if you get numbers like that, I think that's something you can compare to your own games. Like, do I have as much CS as this QoP does, and what is my role in this game? So, yeah, you can think about that. That's it's not a record, but it's a very good indicator about the Press Kid having a pretty free game on the Queen of Pain. Damage statistics as well. If you look at hero damage, Gyrocopter with all these items, 11.5. That's underwhelming. Didn't get the chance to hit the enemy heroes.
Yeah, he just got chronoed every fight. I feel like at least 10k of that damage is just his Aghanim shooting in chrono, trying to deal any kind of damage.
Well, this is a good moment for us to take a tiny break. The rap gods also need to grab a glass of water. So hopefully you people are prepared for a second game of this. CIS Rejects and Gambit Esports continuing in a 1-0 for the Rejects. Can Gambit still pull themselves together, or is this, again, another 2-0 that's going to be happening in this Division 2? We'll find out after the break.